Every once in a while when we were young, we used to make comparisons like whether a domestic car, muscle car was better than a tuner car, because guess what? That's just how we do things when we're old or when we turn 65 years old, because we have nothing better to argue about. But guess what? This is the internet. That's exactly what we're gonna do. I'm Alex, Alex.fi on Instagram. In today's episode of Opposite Lanes, we're gonna be comparing whether you should own a 2016 Chevy Camaro 2SS versus a 2013 Nissan 370z, both of which are owned by girls. Anything I need to know about this car before I drive it? The last one I drove broke.
Make sure you rip on it.
Is there any quirks or features? Any check engine lights on?
Yes, there's many lights on.
All of them?
Not all of them.
ABS?
Yes.
Check engine light?
No.
Oh, you're already better than that one then. Episode's over. All right, Claire, come over here. All right, Claire, is there anything weird that I need to know about your car before I drive it? Because I broke the last one.
Weird? No. Just turn automatic rev matching on. Check engine light is on because
oh, here we go.
I have headers on it and I did not tune it yet.
You didn't tune it yet, so it just needs a tune? You sure you don't own the 370z? It's usually what tuners say.
I'm sure.
All right, okay, I mean, fine. I'm gonna go over here before I get hit. All right, so let's talk about, God, this is like, whoo, big baller chair, came with the fridge and everything. Oh gosh, I might've broke it. So this is Anna's Nissan 370z. Anna's got long tube headers, 5% tint, some holographic wrapped interior pieces. That's exciting. VIS carbon fiber hood, Veris carbon fiber diffuser, Type 3 duckbill. It's got some work. Gnosis GS2s, 20x10s, 20x11s, powder coated with Continental Extreme Contact Sports, and Swift Spec R lowering springs. So the biggest thing with Anna's car and the 370z in general is that it does catch a little bit of flack because it is a longer period of time before they've ever updated the 370z, and Anna has one of the older ones. But to be fair, this car has seen pretty much anything and everything it possibly could, and it has performed extremely well. Anna takes us drag racing, autocrossing, track racing, pretty much everywhere. She drives to lacrosse and back, and at 1,000,000 miles an hour in this car, and it has failed to break down, which is kind of a bonus point when you consider the fact that out of the two cars, one has a check engine light on and the other one doesn't. Contrary to popular belief, the tuner car doesn't have the check engine light. When you're looking at comparing yourself a tuner versus a muscle, you might be asking yourself, this car is half the price of that car at the moment right now. And while that's inherently true, you have to remember that tuner cars generally need tuner modifications to make them look, you know, good. And she has spent probably a good chunk of change on the car to make it look as good as it does right now. Now, whether you're trying to pick a tuner over a muscle, you might be wondering yourself, what do you actually want to do? The 370z looks banging. Throw it on air and some big three-piece wheels, you'd be pretty much set to go. And if you're looking at price point, this is half the price of the other one over there. So it's also kind of a bargain. Pair that with the fact that, again, it's a 2013, but you can't really tell. And this is Claire's 2016 Chevy Camaro 2SS. It's got Rotofab cold air intake, a bunch of exhaust bits. It's got a race axle back, aftermarket diffuser, aftermarket lips, side skirts. It's got carbon composite things, okay? It's got a lot of stuff. All right, I don't want to talk about all of it. Just kidding, I do. It's got Anderson composite carbon fiber spoiler, Rohana RFX 11s, Eibach Pro Kit springs. Because you have the adaptive air suspension, you only need springs. Pro tip for anybody that wants to spend money on suspension. And of course, because she has made so in the disclaimer, it is not tuned yet, which means it has a check engine light. Claire's 2016 Chevy Camaro 2SS is a banger of a car, and when you're looking at value per dollar and the amount of horsepower you can get out of this car, it is pretty astounding. These cars are meant to be fast, they're meant to be loud and obnoxious, but they are a little bit more brutish depending on which way you swing it. The Chevy Camaro 2SS has gotten properly good, and for the price point, you get one hell of a car. But what about reliability? What about cost of ownership? What about capacity and space. When you're looking at a domestic will almost always take the cake 10 to 1 when it comes down to just overall maintenance parts, because there's a million of them. They cross-platform almost all of these motors. They go in everything you could possibly imagine, and there's a lot of them. So you never really have to worry about pricing being that severe. Contrary to Nissan and having a lot of their parts still overseas or a dated platform, sometimes can be hard to pick up parts, and you end up with a more expensive ownership cost, even though the car is inherently cheaper. And this car has pretty much every bell and whistle you could possibly imagine. It's got the Apple CarPlay, which I just learned what that was like a month ago. It has magnetic ride suspension. It's got active this, it's got that. It's got literally rev matching. It's got all of this stuff. It's got active HUD. It has all the technology that makes a cool car cool, especially nowadays. And on top of that, it's actually not inherently that crazy expensive for what you're getting. You're getting you're getting like a $50,000 car at a $30,000 price point, and if you wait a couple years, it'll probably be about 25 to 20. I mean, that's just how it goes. But which one is better? Let's go find out. All right, so this is, let me rate getting, oh, that was actually kind of easy to get in. I rate getting inside this car 8 out of 10. My foot immediately went to put the clutch in to start the car, and I then realized this is not a manual. But you can't tell because she hit it. She did a little sneaky boy there, you see that? Check tire pressure, we have that light, that's it. We're pretty much good on pretty much in every other case. Okay, so she tells me that I gotta put it in sport mode. Where? She's not answering. How do I put this in sport? What do I do? Where's the button?
So put it in the drive, and then you push it over into the slapstick.
Oh, and then that automatically is sport mode?
Yep, and then just make sure you downshift, and then it'll rev match when you slow down.
Gotcha. Thank you, bye.
Yep, bye.
I figured it all out. I am a genius. By the way, we have an Hitachi sticker in here, which is another +1. So we're already at a 9 out of 10. There is no back seat at all. So there is space for the record. However, there really isn't supposed to be space. And you can hear everything kicking up because of that, which is all right, it's not bad. Let's, we're not gonna give her the beans too much, but we're gonna, we were very excited to do this though, because Anna says this is probably the most fun. She loves, the rev match, the automatic rev matching. That's pretty nice. Since it is naturally aspirated and it's a 3.7 liter, it's definitely not as hit you in the face as a supercharged model or anything like that, or twin turbo. But it definitely has some get up and go. And I think what I love the most about Nissan 370zs and pretty much just Nissan tuner cars as a whole is how they just do such a good job being who they are. It's not a slouch by any means. You just have to be willing to really give it. Anything less than full send and it just doesn't really want to do anything that would make you smile. But it rides fantastic. It drives good. The visibility ain't terrible until you have to look behind you, because I can't see. Everything else about the car feels good. Reliability, it's a VQ. They've been around for a long time. Daily driving, you can absolutely do it. Unless you live in the northern months where you run out of, you know, dry ground and everything turns to ice, you're pretty much all set. Access to modifications, the VQ has plenty, but the biggest hiccup with the VQ that the Camaro doesn't have is the fact that with a VQ, you're pretty much stuck within a certain power threshold that isn't massive until you go forced induction. Because it's still a naturally aspirated motor, it's still a mild displacement, it's not massive, it's not as big as the Chevy Camaro, whereas the Chevy Camaro, the 2SS, you throw a cam, an intake, long tube headers on it, and you have an entirely different beast. This doesn't have that same level of engine modification. But these sort of cars aren't really about that. They're more just about how does it feel, how does it drive, how does it behave. And then how does it look? And the car does look really good. I think having the lip and convex wheels gives it more of a retro styling. I'm not a huge fan of convex lipped wheels. I prefer concave, massive concave with like a medium amount of lip. But for this car specifically, and the way that it's set up, it looks properly good. I think what I like so much about this car is the fact that this car gets used for everything. This car gets driven everywhere. It goes literally anything you possibly imagine, Anna does in this car. And she doesn't care that she gets any flack for it or anything like that, because she still takes it to the drag strip, she takes it to the lacrosse speedway, she takes it to Road America, she takes it everywhere. And it is never broken down on her, not one time, which is astounding when you consider that, because every single mile on this car have been very hard miles. And the rev matching is nice. Now, it's not a manual, but I think even for it not being a manual, it's still a pretty fun car. Next up, we have Claire's 2SS. Oh boy, am I excited. I like these cars a lot. I think the reason I like them so much is because they finally updated to a point where it has a lot of new gen tech without it being invasive. So it's got the 6-speed manual, it's got the rev matching, but it's also got all the tech like the Apple CarPlay, the hood, all of that good stuff. It comes with your must-have Cletus McFarlane air freshener. You can pick yours up probably at, I don't know what Cletus's website is, but actually I wonder how his racetrack is going. Okay, where's the start button? You can't be mad about that. Check engine light is on. Getting into this car was an 8, but there's a check engine light, which makes it a 7, I'm sorry. So we drove the ZL1, which we said was 650 horsepower of, oh dear God, kill me. And this one is obviously not as much, but it's definitely enough horsepower to put you on your butt. And the whole time you're doing it, it sounds like it just wants to eat you. I think that's the one thing I really enjoy about all muscle cars, new generations specifically, because the older ones start to get a little weird, almost too lopey in my eyes, whereas these new ones start to get a more refined rumble, and you just can't be mad about it. And it's got the heads-up display. You don't even have to look down. I will say it is it's a much different weight above the axles when you're just driving it. When you're daily driving it, the 370Z feels more, I want to say, it feels lower to the ground, it feels smaller, the wheelbase is a little bit tighter, and as a result, you don't feel as much of that disconnect to the ground. This car, you do feel a little bit more on top of the road than connected to it, but you make up for that with miles per gallon. Flat bottom steering wheel is a must, by the way. This is awesome. It's definitely a fun car. And the rev match, you ready? I mean, I know people don't always enjoy that because it's made it easy, but gosh darn is it fun. I feel a little bit more planted in this car. It feels better. There is more space in my eyes. The center area is huge though in this car compared to the 370. But this car has a ton of space. There are actually seats in the back. There's a trunk. I mean, if you're looking about daily practicality, the Camaro is definitely not bad at all. Max, which one do you like? Camaro. Camaro? Yeah. What would you rate the Camaro? 8. Max gives this car 8 out of 10. Max, what do you give the 370? 6.5. 6.5 out of 10? If it was manual, oh boy, we're having that talk. And the brakes in this car are properly good too. If you're looking for a car that's gonna be able to just scare you a little bit, be loud and obnoxious, but still have space and practicality, the Camaro definitely does that. The 370Z is more of a tuner car. It's more of what I would almost consider like an older generation enthusiast pick now, because they are a little bit older. That one is about 7 to 8 years old. But even the 350Zs now are dating almost over a decade. And I think that starts to show. Not to say that that's a bad thing, but even when you're comparing price per dollar, and you think about all the modifications you're gonna do to a 370 or to a tuner car to get the same sort of feeling, I don't know. I think the 2SS does it without much fight. And in my eyes, if I had to pick one for daily driving, modified, everything all around, I'd probably pick the Camaro. But there is a part inside of me, a 2007 version of me, that wants me to sing the Tokyo theme song, Tokyo Drift theme song, and that's only when I'm in the 370Z, which makes me almost sad, because I don't want to sing the Tokyo Drift song in this car. I want to sing like Shania Twain. I don't even listen to Shania Twain. On and if it don't you go, on and if it Tokyo. If you see it, then you mean it, then you know you have to go. Fast and Furious! Huh, 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 huh. Comparing a car that is a domestic that's probably twice as much as the tuner counterpart may seem a little bit unfair, but when you start talking about all the modifications and the pieces and the carbon fiber and the anime stickers, it starts to add up. When you're looking at a domestic car, they have gotten very, very far in terms of making it, well, not your typical stereotypical domestic car, and they are a fun car. Practicality and space, that one takes the cake, but there will always be a special place in my heart for wide-arched Nissan tuner cars that are just by product good to look at. Let us know what you want us to talk about in the next episode of Opposite Lanes. I'm Alex from Fitment Industries. If you're looking for wheels, tires, or suspension, be sure to check us out over at fitmentindustries.com. Somebody in the comments said, Alex, you need to talk slower, and to that I say, no. Whether you're really talking about if you want a tuner car or a muscle car, though, when you start comparing apples to apples, a $30,000 tuner car is still a Nissan 370Z, which is one of the newer generation 370Zs. So even if you do get a newer one that's at the same price point in the same year model, they're probably not even that comparable anymore, because one